I've said this before, Buck. It's impossible not to love John Wall, right? I think he embodies and personifies everything that you would want in a DC athlete. The heart, I love how he wears his heart and soul on his sleeve. It's just everything about the guy, the way he competes. And I'm assuming that the team feeds off that injury, or not injury, that off, whatever, that emotion.
Right.
And if that's the case, is John then sort of the reason? Can we kind of blame John? Not that I want to blame him, but I mean, is he the guy that we have to point to that has to get these guys up when they play down?
Well, there's no question that as John Wall goes, this team goes. I mean, just look at the way, they've responded since he's come back from his injury. And he's still, I don't even think 100% healthy from the injury, but he's working his way back. Look at the other players and how much better they are when he's on the floor, whether it's Otto Porter or Bradley or Kelly Oubre when he comes in, or Marcin Gortat for sure. So there's no doubt that he runs the team. He makes other players better. And you can just look at him when he came in that Boston game, how much better things were when he came in. I mean, the guys had, I want to say, the team had 26 assists. I'm just looking at the box score. What did John finish with, 13 or something
13.
like that? Yeah, I mean, 14, yeah. So, he definitely takes this team in that direction. So, you can't blame him if he's not in there. But I think that, it's tough to have a backup that's going to come in and do what John Wall does, whether it's Tim Frazier or Thomas Satoransky or Ramon Sessions when he was here. It's tough to have a guy that's going to be at that level.
Buck, I'm talking about when he's playing and he's on the floor and he's part of the team and to Brooklyn or whoever it is. It's not just when he's not there.
No, true, and that's on the whole team. That's so that's
but I'm
not
saying
on John.
Maybe it's on John because even though he's everything I want it to be, he's got to be the leader, and he's got to be even against the dull opponents. He's got to be bringing that energy, and everyone's got to feed off him. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is. I'm just throwing it out there as a question.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point you're making. There's no doubt. He along with other people have to keep the team up and get them ready to play, along with the coaches and that kind of thing. But it's incumbent upon the whole team to do that, and certainly not just the coaches. And it's disappointing when they don't. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And that's why I said at the end of the year, you get these losses, and teams have them every year. We've had them. Every team has them. You get to the end of the season, when you look back and you say, man, if we'd have just won that game or just won that game. But, so be it. Here's where we are. But we've had a number of those already, and that's what's disappointing. So when I say they haven't hit their stride, if they could, play with the same kind of focus and intensity against teams like Atlanta tonight and some of these other teams,
well, then they'd be killer.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have obviously they'd be 10 games over 500 or 8 games right now or whatever it happens to be.
Well, that's where you want to be. We're talking to Steve Buckhantz, the voice of the Wizards on NBC Sports Washington. But I'm optimistic. Last year at this point, they were sub 500. Actually in better shape than they were last year. And then you mentioned the fact they ripped off 7 games at home, so they're still capable of that. And to me, actually on paper, should be better than last year's team because they got a better bench. Yeah, it should be better. It is, I think. And, of course, last year they got off to that 2-8 start, saddled them early, and they had to. That's one of the reasons why they were still sub 500 at this time. But their bench is better. It's more productive. And, you got to credit a lot of that to just maturity. I mean, look at Kelly Oubre. He's the perfect example. I mean, the guy's in his 3rd year. And he's really starting to play. And I said at the beginning of the year, I think he's got tremendous upside. He's a high-energy player. He's young. He's got great lift. He can get up. And he brings it every game. And I love that about him. And he's working on his offense. It's going to get better. We've seen it get better. And the other guys on the bench, too. And so their bench is better. It's not great, but it's better than it was, I think. And they've brought it in certain games, and they need to continue to do it. But it's not going to be there every night. But I think it's better. So, for this team, it's all about focus and playing hard, and they don't do that every night. And that's why they've lost to teams like Brooklyn and Phoenix and some of these other teams that aren't so great. And that's what Gortat talked about. He said, I think after the game, he said, I wish every game could be nationally televised because we actually gave 110% effort.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that because selfishly because you hear guys say, well, our game's on TV. Well, 82 of your games are on TV.
Right.
They're all on TV. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get picky about it, they're all on national TV because everybody can see every game now everywhere if they want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was on ABC. They've got other games on TNT and another one on ESPN that's nationally televised. But
you should say something to him. When you see him, you should say, hey, you understand every game's on TV, stupid. I mean, he's a good guy.
Hey, March, you big lug, come here, man.
Yeah.
Every game's on TV. I would think they'd be smart enough to know that, and I think they are. But look, that happens with every player. They think when they're on national TV, when the schedule comes out, you hear the team say, we've got 20 games on national TV. Well, that includes 10 games that are on NBA TV.